The average creator takes about 124 videos to reach 1,000 subs, and yet I was able to do it with only one video, and I now make over 15 grand a month off of my channel at 17 years old. But it had nothing to do with luck and everything to do with my niche strategy. So I'm going to show you the 3-step process that I use to pick a good niche, and how one creator grew to over 10 million subs with a simple change that you can use as well. And for those who stick around until the end, I'll also give away my editing presets for free that helped me blow up with my very first video, starting with step 1, find your drive. For most creators, their drive is to either create content, make money, or a bit of both. But the reality is, no matter what you choose, it is going to take a ton of time, energy, and focus to create a successful channel. In fact, it took creators like Mr. Beast and Marcus Brownlee over 10 years just to reach 1 million subs. So I want you to create a list of things that you might want to create content about on YouTube, then go through that list and cross off everything that doesn't drive you. Remember, some of the largest creators in the world spent years making content before they started making money, so you need to find a topic that you are equally passionate about creating content on. Then I want you to consider whether there is an audience on YouTube as passionate as you about this type of content. For example, if you're an accountant that loves saving money, then you'll want to pick something like personal finance that has an existing fan base of people who also love the topic. Then, once you've narrowed down a list of content that drives you as a creator, you'll need to pick your content role. When it comes to YouTube, there are 2 main content roles. The first role is the entertainer, whose purpose is to entertain viewers through things like humor and drama. Examples of creators with this role include people like Mr. Beast, Logan Paul, and PewDiePie. To make it as an entertainer, you need some kind of unique selling point that brings people in and keeps them coming back for more. For Mr. Beast, it's his insane ideas. For PewDiePie, it was his unique and unusual personality. It doesn't matter what your unique selling point is, but it needs to be unique and attention-grabbing. The second role is the educator, the purpose of which is to educate the viewer on a topic, such as finance, nutrition, or even growing on YouTube. Examples of creators with this role are Graham Stephan, Film Booth, and myself. To succeed in this role, you'll need what's called social proof, which is a quantifiable and measurable way to show that you know what you're talking about. For Graham, it was his years of experience working as a real estate agent and multi-million-dollar net worth. For me, it's my previous experience growing and monetizing YouTube channels, and the fact that I'm earning over 6 figures a year on YouTube at just 17 years old. And speaking of that, I'm giving away the editing presets that helped me get to the point that I'm at today for free at natewealth.com/emails or with link in the description. So go check that out if you're interested. But with everything said though, the line between the role of educators and entertainers on YouTube is quite gray. Just because you're an educator doesn't mean you can't also be an entertainer and vice versa. In fact, there are some creators like Vsauce that are a mix of both, which is why no matter what you choose, you're going to want to use a software that I've been using recently called Riverside. You see, one of the keys to standing out as an educator or entertainer is through leveraging a strong personal brand, which can really only be leveraged for the most part when you show your face and use your own voice on camera with headshot content. But the last thing you want is low quality headshot content, and that's where Riverside comes in. Riverside is great because it records your headshot content at the highest quality possible and then uploads your content to the cloud, where specific AI improves the narration quality for you and adds attention-grabbing captions. And if that wasn't enough, it also has the Magic Clips feature, which takes your content and turns it into viral-worthy short-form clips to post on other social media platforms. And by using this software, you can expect a 65% reduction in editing time along with a 230% increase in quality. Achieving such results would typically cost around $5,000 otherwise. And the good news is that you can enjoy these benefits too by clicking Riverside's link in my description and using coupon code NATEWEALTH at checkout to get 15% off. So don't lose quality on your headshot content and save time with Riverside. And then once you've picked your driving niche, role, and established a high quality editing system with Riverside, you can pick a sub niche that capitalizes on the 2 content ceilings. And trust me when I say that you can't miss this section, as it covers the 2 most common mistakes beginner YouTubers make when selecting a niche. Content ceilings are the limits a type of content has for growing your channel. The first is the idea ceiling, which will just determine the number of videos you can make in a certain niche before you run out of ideas. For example, let's say that you were to make a channel that only focuses on covering the US presidential election, which happens every 4 years. When the election is on, you can make a ton of content, but when the election cycle isn't on, you'll have nothing to talk about, meaning you don't have a great idea ceiling. Now compare that to a channel which focuses on general US pop culture, like Philip DeFranco, and you'll have a ton more content to make videos about.
The second one to determine is the view ceiling, which will just determine the amount of views you can potentially get on a video based on the number of people that will actually watch it on YouTube.
For example, Dr. Mike is a famous YouTuber that now has over 11 million subs, but he struggled in the beginning to get a ton of views because his idea ceiling was quite low. At first, he was making content that targeted medical students on topics like how not to get sick and the 7 health benefits of green tea. But then he found a sub niche within his niche as an educator that had a much higher idea ceiling. This idea was to create reaction content to popular medical shows, and by leveraging his personal experience as a doctor as social proof, he was able to provide commentary on popular medical shows and share with viewers whether stuff that happened in these shows was accurate or not. And unlike his earlier videos, which struggled to get a lot of views, his most popular video, named Real Doctor Reacts to The Good Doctor, has grown to over 40 million views, meaning it had an amazing view ceiling. So after you pick a niche that drives you and your role as a content creator, make sure to pick a sub niche that has a great idea ceiling and view ceiling. But even with both of these ceilings being really important to your channel's success, the idea ceiling is a lot more important than the view ceiling, as it's still possible to succeed in a smaller niche if you're smart about monetizing your channel, as long as you're able to keep consistently creating new content that brings viewers back to your channel, which isn't the same the other way around, because there's only so many ways to repackage and remake the same video idea before viewers get bored and your channel stops getting any views. And if you're interested in learning how some niches have the potential to make creators millions of dollars just off of ad revenue, then check this video out next, where I explore those niches and show you how to find them.